after that, I worked in Mohawk College. I was the regional manager for South Asia in Mohawk College. And from 2017, I'm back into student recruitment. I've been in this industry for about 21 years. This is my 21st year. So I started my career in Ukraine. I was an international student in Ukraine. I'm from South India, Hyderabad. But when I was 19, I moved to Ukraine. I studied medicine there and I had a bit of practice. And I got involved into healthcare recruitment. And, life has its own ups and downs. So moved into Canada about 10 years ago, and different challenges, different opportunities.
I just got a message from Amanda. She is coming, but if we need to start, we can.
Sure, please go ahead. Yes, we can. So this is Oksana from my Ukraine team, Anna from my Ukraine team, Yashwant from my Canada team, Nihil from my Canada team, Anil. Mr. Anil is the director of our India team, and Shivani is also from a Canada team based in Toronto office.
It's good morning for me. So,
good morning.
I'm just going to share my screen here for the presentation, if that's okay.
Yes.
So I'll just introduce myself. I'll just get started if that's all right.
Yes, please.
Perfect. Good morning. My name is Angela Campbell. I am the Assistant Registrar of Recruitment at Concordia University of Edmonton. I will be joined shortly by our International Manager, Amanda. She's just having some laptop loading issues.
Yes,
so we would like to... perfect, great. So we just want to have chat today about our programs and our services and what makes us unique here at Concordia. We are a smaller institution in Edmonton, Alberta, and we have a smaller population of just over 3,000 students. We are located just off the riverbed in Edmonton, and actually my office, which I'm not in currently right now, my office is actually in that building as we see, and it does overlook a beautiful river valley that links onto almost 200 kilometers of trails in our river valley. We are celebrating our 100th year this year. It is our centennial. We have been around since 1921. We've gone through a few different iterations as an institution, landing on Concordia University of Edmonton back in 2015-16, and we welcome students from all different regions. Students come to us direct from high school. They may transfer into us. They may come to us and then transfer to other institutions. But you're hard pressed to find a group in Edmonton that doesn't have some ties to our university. So right into our programs. So we have a Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Management, Faculty of Science, as well as Education and Environmental Health. So to begin with our Faculty of Arts programs, we do have 3- and 4-year undergraduate programs. Many students will ask us what's the difference between a 3-year program and a 4-year program. And we just often tell them that 4th year, you're just not necessarily specializing down into the major that you've chosen. 3-year programs are recognized here in Canada. There are many programs you can pursue afterwards, like graduate certificates and diplomas, those micro-credentials, as well as after degrees, which I'll also talk about in a minute. So many students find that getting a 3-year degree is helpful to get them into the job market because many employers these days are really just looking that they have that degree. But a 4-year degree will help prepare students for graduate studies work. We have probably our most popular major at Concordia is our psychology program. Probably most of our students are in this program, although they take courses from all other areas. It is one of our most popular. With one that's unique to us is our applied emphasis in psychology. And this allows students in their 4th year to get community agency work. So for students that are moving into graduate studies to do a master's program or a PhD, the applied emphasis program is a really great program for them to pursue. Some of our most popular courses, however, are in our religious studies. We are no longer a faith-based institution, but we do have some a great program in religious studies. One of our professors teaches the most popular course on campus, which is our pop culture and how it relates to how our culture has been affected and molded by religion. But students will find that our drama and music program are really great because they don't require students to have an audition. And students looking at moving into law school or government can look at sociology as well as philosophy. One of my favorite faculties is our management program, probably because I myself have a Bachelor of Management program. I love this program because a business program is something that can be applied in any industry, in any workplace, anywhere you go. I myself find that I use all of these skills in my current role as a recruitment, assistant registrar in recruitment, from doing budgeting for accounting to hiring people in human resource management, as well as creating collateral for recruitment purposes for marketing. This is a 4-year program that we have here at Concordia. It does have a guaranteed internship between years 3 and 4. So one of the things that we really pride ourselves on at Concordia is that we are preparing students to get into the workplace. The whole point of them coming to university is to build an amazing resume, and we really help students do that. And one of those ways is getting an internship. This one has a guaranteed internship, but we do have a department in our university that does assist with students getting internships and working with them to get that work experience as well. Most really popular is our Faculty of Science, and it's because of our smaller size. We are probably the 2nd smallest institution in Edmonton, and many students will come to us to take a 3 or 4 year science degree because they've got the small lab sizes, small class sizes. One of our strengths, as told to us by our students, is the connection they have with professors, the amazing professors that we have, especially in our science programs. We have a chemistry program that is recognized nationally, and students will come to us for a 3-year program, possibly if they're looking at moving into vet school, pharmacy, optometry, dentistry, dental hygiene. So these programs do require students to have some undergraduate work prior to applying to those professional schools. So students will come to us based on our smaller size in order to be the most successful that they can be, get all that one-on-one attention, and are typically very successful in moving into those professional programs. In the event a student decides after 3 years that they haven't got into that program after 3 years, or if any student just decided to take 3 years and then wants to move that into a 4-year degree, students can do so seamlessly. They just would take that last year of that program. Very new to our institution is our information technology program. And this is probably one of probably our 2nd most popular program that we have. As you know, we have been really reliant on IT and internet, and really the need for information, IT specialists, IT analysts, focusing on software, data sets, cybersecurity. Our program really focuses a lot on that, and also ladders into a graduate program, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But very specific to us is integrative and cell and molecular biology. So students looking at med school, these are really great programs. And then environmental science. This program is a very general overview of a lot of different areas, from marine biology, animal, plant, flora, fauna, anything that has any impact on our environment. We provide that in our program. So students generally have a great experience in that program too. So just looking at our admission requirements. So we are not competitive based on grades. Students just need to meet a minimum average on their qualifying high school courses. So for arts and science, we are looking for a 60% overall average. And then for a Bachelor of Business degree, we're looking for a 65% overall average. Where we are competitive is how many seats are available in each of our majors. So as I said earlier, our psychology program as well as our information technology program are our most popular, and those seats fill up quite quickly. I believe IT may be close to being filled right now, if not filled already, and psychology, as I also know, is very close to being full. Now, when students apply and they are looking at some of those higher demand programs, they can apply to a secondary program like a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology, or a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science. And they will still be able to take some of those courses in their first year and then reapply to the program for the second year and seamlessly move those courses into a second year of that degree. Students will also need to present English language proficiency, which Amanda is going to talk about later on in the presentation. And all of our applications are accepted through what is called Apply Alberta. And this is the provincial application system that allows students to apply to any institution in Alberta. All applications go through there. Unfortunately, we do not accept any other applications by paper. It's all through Apply Alberta. So two programs I do want to touch on, because we are we have a high reputation for our education program. Many teachers across Alberta have gone through our two-year program. This is an after degree. So students would present a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science or even a business degree, and then take this two-year programs afterwards. Now, this program doesn't require a full four-year degree, so that's why our three-year programs are quite popular, that students will take this. They'll apply for this program in their third year. So after, if they've finished a three-year degree as well as complete this two-year after degree, they will have 2 degrees. Now, in Alberta, when you have 2 degrees or 5 years of education, you get paid more than just a regular 4-year Bachelor of Education program. So that is also why it's very popular. The other reason is that we just give students so much experience in the classroom. We even have a Bridges Bursary program that also funds more time for students in the classroom. Students are well prepared to be a teacher after they leave this program. Our environmental health program is also super popular. This is offered 2 ways. This is offered as an after degree for students pursuing a 3-year, can also take a 3-year undergraduate program and then move into this 15-month program. It's also offered as a graduate diploma, as a 12-month program. So many of our international students that already present degrees from their home country may pursue the graduate diploma as the route, because the 3-month practicum is designated for our domestic students. Now, that doesn't mean that an international student cannot pursue becoming a public health inspector here in Canada. It just, there's a couple more steps, and we help them work through that as well. So yes, as I said, this is to become a public health officer. So students interested in working in field work, working in environment, making public spaces safe. This is a great program to consider. In fact, many of our practicum students are doing in our work practicums during the program are doing so in our Alberta Health Services. So they're actually in health services because they're helping make our public spaces safe. So as you may be able to figure out, it is a very popular program right now with our pandemic. So students will need to present a degree as well as have 2 courses, one in chemistry and one in stats, university level.
Angela, sorry to
Sure.
interrupt you here. So, so statistics and what was the other course you mentioned? Sorry.
Chemistry. So 3 credits in a university level chemistry.
So what about students? There are many students from medical backgrounds. So we have, prospective international students who graduated medicine, dentistry, and they are very interested in public health. But they don't have statistics or chemistry. Can they take this subject as an additional course and get a conditional admission or direct admission? Because it's very difficult to find chemistry and statistics for students from this background. In India, we have a bachelor's which does not include statistics for students who are in health, in science programs, healthcare and science.
These 2 courses would need to be completed prior to the start date of the program. There's actually a couple other courses like physiology that students can take with the program. These are the only 2 that need to be completed beforehand and cannot be taken consecutive or concurrently with the program. So students could apply to an undergrad program in science with us and take those 2 courses. And probably an extra one to fulfill a full-time status, and then apply to this program. This program does admit 2 times a year. For the after degree, it admits twice a year. It admits into the fall as well as into the May, spring. As the graduate diploma for most our international students, it only admits to the fall.
From this study visa approval perspective, for especially if it is a postgraduate or an adult student with 3 to 5 years of work experience, going for an undergraduate degree has implications from the study visa perspective. For example, for some MBA programs or, we work with York University, and for some of the programs, they require statistics. So they give an acceptance letter, but students, before they start the program, they have to complete this statistics course, which is a prerequisite to get into the main program. So is there a possibility for prospective students who are interested in environmental health that they can start their studies 4 months prior and finish the 2 mandatory courses, the statistics and chemistry?
That's a good question that I'll have to defer to Amanda.
Because very high interest program, we have many students who do apply. In fact, since there was no alternative, we work with Trinity Western University, and they have a master's in healthcare leadership. And we have many medical students from medical professionals who go into that program because public health, very limited options in Canada in public institutions or private institutions. So very good program. I'm sure there will be, from Philippines, there's interest, from India, and also from Eastern Europe. I'm sure there's a lot of interest for this program.
Yes, we are only one of 6 institutions in Canada that offer this program, and the only one in Alberta. Now, the only challenge with students starting 4 months ahead is that we do have a spring and summer terms. However, we don't typically offer a full complement. We don't offer a full complement of courses, and I'm not sure if we even offer stats and maybe chemistry, but I don't believe we offer stats.
Okay, and sorry, one more question. So in Ontario, we have this school, online school, which is approved by Ontario Ministry of Education. So if a student completes the 3 credits in chemistry and statistics online from an approved online education and studies here in Canada, would Concordia Edmonton accept these credits?
Absolutely. We also have an institution called Athabasca University that is a strictly online university. The only challenge I've ever seen with Athabasca is that they do allow for 6 months for their course. So students would need to apply, and we do need to have the courses on the official transcript. I just ran into this with a student where they had completed the course at the end of December. We needed transcripts by mid-January. And it was going to probably be another month before the transcripts had that course on officially. So that is probably the only challenge I would foresee in a student taking an online course, as long as they can get that completed in time and get the and confirm that they will have the course with a grade on the official transcript prior, because the document deadline is the first day of classes for this program.
Okay, and
or sorry, a month before.
Okay, and are the graduate certificate programs open for September intake? Still open for the September intake? 22?
Yes.
Yes, right. One of my staff was checking in the website and she told me that they were closed. So I was wondering how come.
No, this all of our graduate programs are open until April 1st. This program actually, I believe, has an August 1st deadline for the graduate diploma.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Angela, can I just clarify, are chemistry and statistics required for the graduate diploma too?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Yes, Angela, thank you. Sorry for
perfect. No worries. That's all great. So we did touch a little bit on our graduate studies program. So again, very popular programs. We do all of these programs only accept into the fall term. And we do have our new doctorate of psychology. And this is a PsyD program. This is a 5-year program that if students are presenting an undergraduate program in psychology can pursue to get their doctorate, bypassing that master's requirement. We also have our really popular is our information systems assurance and information systems security program, as well as diplomas in those areas as well. We do accept applications until April 1st, and then we make decisions on those applications after that deadline. And then, as we just mentioned, that graduate diploma in environmental public health practice. The general requirement for these programs is that students do need to present an undergraduate, typically a 4-year for some of them. If they do have a 3-year degree, they may be accepted on a probationary basis, but they also need to present at least a 3.0 on their undergrad program in their most recent 60 credits in order to be considered for admission.
Angela, sorry to ask you. So Doctor of Psychology, many students do contact us. How often do international students get acceptance into the Doctor of Psychology program? And again, the tuition fees, I just wanted to check in because most of the PhD programs are funded and have about Concordia University of Edmonton.
I can jump in about the international students, Angela. So we're just in our first intake, but there is, so it's a small intake. I think only 10 students. Is that correct, Angela? But there is actually an international student in the program right now. So I guess to answer the question, we're just kind of getting going with it. It just had its first intake last fall, but they did immediately in the first intake accept an international student.
Okay, thank you. And the tuition fees, tuition fees, how?
I actually don't have that offhand. I can get that after the presentation. Yes, and I did see that there's just a couple of questions about the Master of Science and IT program, as well as the Master of Information System Assurance, Security program. So the Master of Information System Security program is a 2-year program. It is highly focused on cybersecurity. It is a 33 credit program, and I think I might have again, I'd have to look for tuition for that one. And then our Master of Science program is a brand new program that we are offering as a 2-year program. And students for the Master of Science and IT should have an IT background in order to apply for this program. So now we've already heard from Amanda. Now I will hand it off to Amanda to talk about some of the more specific requirements for international students.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Angela. Yeah, so I will chat a little bit about the international student application process, but also what makes Concordia special for international students, so why they might consider Concordia. We do have a dedicated international student advisor, as you can see, so her sole role on the campus is just in the support of international students. She couldn't be with us today, but she is available for students regularly, so that's her work, is to support them. Okay, so in terms of the application process to institutions in Alberta, Angela already mentioned this a little bit. Applications are submitted through a third-party application system called Apply Alberta, and the application fee is 100 Canadian dollars. In terms of English language requirements, we do accept a wide range of test scores. And so we've listed a few examples, but all of the ones that we accept, including what's required for each, is available on our website. And I can put the link to where on the website in the chat. We used IELTS as an example. So for something like IELTS, we would require IELTS academic. For undergraduate programs, we would require a minimum score of 6 with no band below 5.5. And then for graduate programs, same thing, IELTS academic with a minimum overall score of 6 and no band below 6. So just to give you a sense, but we also will accept TOEFL, IBT, CLB, a whole different range. So lots of opportunity. There are some possibilities for exemption from the English language requirements, and those are also listed on the website where the test score requirements are listed. So those are worth having a look at as well. We do require some hard copy documents to be submitted to the university as part of the application process. So these are things like the English language proficiency score and any transcripts from high school or any post-secondary the student had previously done, and then any other supporting documentation that's potentially required for the program. So those are all just packaged up and mailed to the university. If the student is made an offer, that is done electronically, so students are encouraged to keep an eye on their student email very carefully during this time. We do require a $2,500 registration deposit at the time the student accepts the offer, but we are flexible with refunding that deposit. So if something happens that's outside of the student's control, or if the student experiences a study permit refusal, we will refund that $2,500 less a processing fee. So I think that registration deposit may be a bit higher than some institutions, but we are having a bit more flexibility in terms of refunding it. Step 5, of course, is to apply for a study permit. And so we just recommend that international students apply as early as possible so they can get the letter of acceptance as early as possible and get going on the study permit application as soon as possible, because it does take some time. Of course, always important to plan for finances. So something that we sometimes experience is that students aren't aware that in Canada, textbooks are actually outside of the cost of tuition, so they're not included in it. So very, very important to also budget for textbooks. Something though that they don't have to worry about as part of their time at Concordia is medical insurance. So this is included in the cost of insurance. It's automatically set up for students and provides comprehensive coverage for dental, vision, all of those types of things. Students can opt out if they have coverage from another provider, but yeah, just something that they don't have to worry about. If they need medical insurance, they're automatically enrolled. We do offer a wide range of specialized supports for international students, and the international office is the main on-campus resource for international students. So we work hard to try to make transition to university as smooth as possible. So as Angela already mentioned, Concordia University is a small institution, so we do have kind of a campus, a community feel on campus, and we try to add to this as much as possible just to help with the transition into university life. So we offer pre-arrival and orientation supports, and students can regularly access our advisor for help with basic settlement issues like getting your health card, getting your ID. We offer immigration advising, so students can book one-on-one appointments. Students can attend presentations and workshops that are running all through the semester. And then we have other supports available throughout the academic year as well. So this might be formatting a resume and getting a job in Canada, or adjusting to the academic system in Canada. And what you're seeing in the pictures there are our cultural celebrations. So when we're permitted to gather, we like to run these approximately 4 of these cultural celebrations an academic year. They're really, really fun. They're always well attended. There's food, dancing, and the students just love them. And it's really an opportunity for students to celebrate their culture and share it with other students. So we love to host these, and students really like to take part. So yeah, usually lots happening on campus for students to be a part of and participate in. Okay, that's it from me, just a short little bit, but I will now pass it back to Angela, who will chat a bit about financial aid.
So we do have a financial aid and awards office on campus that will assist students with funding, whether it's in scholarships or bursaries or grants. I've included some example costs. So for our undergraduate programs, and then as well as our graduate diploma and then our master's. I'm not sure if you can see it, it's kind of cut off on my screen, but the Master of Science in Information Technology for the 2-year program runs about $34,000, just over $34,000. And that's going to be similar to our Master of Information System Security as well as Systems Assurance Management. So for our undergraduate programs, I think it's a little, we offer students, they pay domestic fees plus an international fee per term. So, and students in our undergraduate programs do have the opportunity to qualify for our renewable entrance scholarship. So that's where the grades come in. So if they are presenting at least a 75% on the 5 qualifying high school courses for admission, they will be admitted for the scholarship. It starts at $1,000. The higher the average, the more money we provide. For graduate students, unfortunately, we do not. For international students, we do not have any entrance scholarships available. However, once a student is a student at Concordia, there are a ton of scholarships available to continue as a student at Concordia. So we get that question quite often as well. We do have residents on campus. Our residence holds about 100 students right now. I know we are planning for a future residence building, but that will be a couple years down the road. And our residence is actually, there's one residence in our Founders Hall that's attached to the university, so students can go to school in their slippers. But there's also 2 other buildings just across a sidewalk, still on the same footprint of campus. And we even have a women's only dorm for anyone that wishes that. We do have an amazing housing services coordinator that also can assist students with finding residents in the area. We are fortunate to live in an amazing neighborhood, and there's some apartment buildings nearby. There's always lots of residents that are offering up basement suites, which I also think is a really great idea for international students to have some comforts of home in someone's home here. So just a little bit about Concordia. We are smaller, so our average size of our classes is about 30. As you go up into further classes, I just took a business course that had 7 students. We actually only have 3 courses on 3 classrooms on campus that actually hold 75 students. So we like to keep our classrooms small. We also have a dedicated team that helps support students through every step. Probably the most popular this year has been our academic strategist for students that may have fallen behind. They do help students get back on track. We also have an early alert system for professors to intervene when a student may not appear to be as successful as they could be, as well as we offer tutoring and support and a ton of support options. And because we are so small, our support center is right off the entrance of our institution. You can't help but to see them and meet with them. They are very helpful and welcoming. as Amanda had mentioned, tons of things to get involved in on campus. The layout of our campus, it just is so conducive of being so involved. We have one major center called Tegler, and it's if students have classes in the day, they can't help but walk through this area 2 to 3 times a day. And this is where we host all of our events where you saw. We also, students, this is where their gathering center. This is where we'll also do announcements, or we'll do games nights. So there's a ton of things to get involved in. We have a student association that helps students get involved in student government. We have career fairs that happen. We have a ton of sports events. And I also run a student ambassador program that also helps students, again, get some involvement, build up their resume while they're with us. Because these are the things that help students get jobs, is getting involved in different areas of university. It also helps them keep them engaged, because the number one reason why students leave university is due to loneliness. And I know it is a catch for our international students. We want to make sure that they feel welcome and involved and engaged. One of the programs that does make us super unique, we're one of 2 programs, universities to offer this in Canada. It is called our Concordia Commitment. We will, students that enter this program, we will guarantee that they will get employment after this, after their graduation, or we bring them back for a full undergraduate year. So this is for our undergraduate students. And so we set them up with a mentor, we give them academic workshops, we give them volunteer experience. So we're really basically building that resume while they're with us. We've had many students go through this program and move on to different careers and different graduate programs. In fact, one of my student ambassadors was a commitment student and is now taking med school in Ontario, and actually was just featured on the news as being leading a charge for med students, helping out in the the Ontario healthcare system. So we're very proud of that. Lots of things going on. We have an information night, a virtual information night coming up on March 10th. This is going to be presentations from the different departments. We'll even have graduate studies there. They are going to be there to answer any questions about those very specific questions about graduate studies. We will also have tours of campus. We'll have some prizes. So students are more than welcome to sign up and come for this. Also updates on how we're opening up campus and all of that. So follow us on social media if you are looking to find out a little bit more about us. So that's about it for our presentation. I know we have some questions about some graduate, and I'm happy to answer some of those questions. But here's our contact information. You can contact the international office at international@concordia.ab.ca. We also, you can reach me at recruitment@concordia.ab.ca. Students that have any questions, we can provide admission requirements, we can provide estimated fee sheets. That's always a big question. We do have those prepared that we can send those out to students. So.
Yeah, and then for all the prospective students, we are officially working with Concordia University and Edmonton, and we support our students extensively from the study visa process. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and we are the only agency in Canada. We support our students extensively throughout the process. So when you are here in Canada and you need any support from during your process, or Concordia University obviously will help you. But again, we are here to help you with the study visa process, with the postgraduate work permit. And if you decide to stay back here in Canada, we support our students without any legal fees for the Canadian Experience Class, the Federal Skilled Worker Program. As you know, we had thousands of students from CIP who have applied, and we have many who already have successfully graduated and doing great jobs, and we'll be happy to help you as well.
Yeah, I'll just follow that up by saying that the support that Concordia can offer is very general. So having an immigration consultant in your corner through CIP will be super valuable and very helpful with the immigration piece of all of this.
Thank you. And we will have another session, Amanda, just, I'm not sure if you saw. So we did have students to Concordia previously of Edmonton. We help all students irrespective of the financials. And we had one of our students who was very proactive, and I think he was the students committee or something a couple of years ago or last year. I think Bargo was one of our students. I'm not sure if I think you sure. I had talked to him and he said he knows you. So he's one of our students. We helped him with Concordia University. And tomorrow we actually have an info session with Bargo from a student perspective.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And as Angela mentioned, our community is small. So we do get to know each other often by name, and staff know students by name, and faculty know students by name. So yeah, that's definitely part of it.
Yeah, he's our student. We helped him, very proactive, very nice guy. And he's actually working now in Winnipeg. He's graduated and is working in Winnipeg. And tomorrow, I think we'll have tomorrow morning at the same time, we'll have an info session from a student perspective about University of Concordia. So there are a few students who wanted some information, questions. If you're okay, can they ask you the questions? I think there is Girish from Chennai and also Priyadarshini here. So guys, if you have any questions regarding Concordia Edmonton, please please go ahead.
I will put the program planner for the MSc-IT and the link for the admissions requirements in the chat, Angela. And then if you want to, Angela's better with admissions requirements than me, so I'll.
Okay, so Girish, are you here, Girish? Yeah, so Girish had a question here. Girish, if you can unmute, please go ahead. If not, I can read your question. Okay, so he's already got. So I have 7 years of cybersecurity experience. Would that be okay to go for a master's in IT security management? Or do I have to go for a cybersecurity course separately? Is there any limit? Some institutions have a limit with the age and also the education. So Concordia University, no issues with that, right?
No, we get this question quite often, and students say they've taken gap years and that there's no issues with any of that at our institution. Our Master of Science Information Technology, that's a 33 credit, 16-month program that is over 4 terms. It only admits into the fall term and does have an April 1st deadline. Students should have a background in sciences, as well as mathematics or engineering. If you don't, we would request that students have at least some fundamentals in programming and networking.
Okay.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Girish might be interested in MISM.
Because yeah, our MISM program is more geared towards the cybersecurity, cryptography, risk management, digital forensics, where our Masters of IT is more focused on programming, networking, data management, and infrastructure.
Okay. From the academics perspective, what is the average, usually the cutoff, what Concordia University Edmonton accepts, and any limits, especially from Indian applicants, you hear a lot backlogs, right? So any limits on that? I mean, we try to take students who are more than 60% most of the time, very rare, but we are very selective as well, but just wanted to understand. Somebody's asking about you.
So for our undergraduate programs, as long as they meet that minimum 60% or 65% for business, they're admitted. There's no cutoff, it's not competitive based on that grade. So students just need to apply early to get into the specific major. When it comes to our graduate studies, unfortunately, I don't know if they do have to have that minimum of a 3.0, and then it's be competitive after that based on how many seats are available for those programs. And I do not have the numbers from last year, or the GPAs from last year at the cutoff.
Okay. Nihil, you had some question, Nihil?
Yes, sir. So, hi, Angela and Amanda. Very interesting programs. Definitely, we'll be looking forward to it. And yeah, we do have many students who are especially interested in the for the psychology program and especially the postgraduate program in IT and security management. So, coming to this Master of Science in IT program, I did see the website says the average tuition fees per term is around $2,225 to $6,400 per term. So I just wanted to know, like, what is the typical duration of a term? Is it 3 months quarter or 4 months quarter? And like, as you mentioned, like the typical size of this particular program, like typical duration would be around 4 terms. So would that mean that the fees would be around $24,000 for an entire program? Or can you just give us a rough idea about total tuition fees for per year or per program?
So I did show the tuition fees for this program on that. So the the Master of Science IT program is for the 2-year program is approximately about just over $34,000. And that doesn't include books, I don't believe. So that would be also additional. This program is over 4 terms, so it's a fall, winter, fall, winter. Each term is, that 15 weeks or 3 months, just over 3 months. It is a smaller program. I don't know how many they admitted this year for the program for last year. So, but I do know it's a smaller program, possibly less than 50 for sure.
Okay, and about the postgraduate diploma program, as you mentioned, like, is the fees would be same as that of master's program? Because here all the fees are given in brackets saying graduate programs and master program has the average fees of 22,000, like 2,225 to 6,400. So could you just give us the idea about average fees for postgraduate program as well as you said about the master's program?
So the which graduate diploma program? So for our information security and information assurance program, these programs, these are diploma programs. They're 18 credits, and they run students about as an 8-month program at just almost $25,000.
Yeah, that answers my question.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
We actually do have fee sheet estimates that I can share for these programs that are of interest that help create a summary, because I know sometimes on the website looking at it by credit can be a little bit tricky. So I'm happy to send along the fee sheet. Yeah.
That would be great help. Yeah.
If you, I have a few questions regarding the postgraduate certificate programs. I'll share the screen if you don't mind. I'm looking at the website and just wanted to make sure. So this is the information systems graduate certificate programs. And I see that the graduate diploma in information assurance and graduate diploma in information security, are these programs available for international students for September 22 intake?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And what would be the tuition fees for 1-year graduate certificate program? I mean, how many credits are there? And
so that was the program I was just speaking to, the graduate diplomas in information assurance and information security. They both run just about $25,000. They are 18 credits. Where the it's an 8-month program, where the master's program is a 33 credit program. And I'm just pulling up what I've got here for that fee. That program, that 20-month program is running about just over $44,000.
Okay, yeah, and the next here, the Faculty of Education, the website here states that Master of Education in Education Leadership. So is this program offered to international students?
It is. There's nothing that prevents them from being a part of the program, but it is a part-time program, and a big piece of it is offered via distance learning, even not during COVID times. So it's not, students are not eligible for the post-graduation work permit.
Okay, so that's not for international students.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other program which I wanted to ask you, is the graduate programs here. Can you see the screen, all the programs?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, no longer.
Though
so
we only have the graduate diploma in environmental public health practice. The other three that are listed there were suspended 2 years ago. I do advise our department to delete them. Unfortunately, it hasn't been done yet. But I do know, however, that Cecilia, who is our director of our public health programs, she is working on some future graduate programs. So there will be some new programming in the next couple of years under the environmental health umbrella.
that's interesting. And any possibility for regulatory affairs and clinical research? Huge numbers. None of the institutions actually offer this program. So I actually have a meeting today with York University, and we are discussing about these many new programs, including these two new programs. So that would really be a great opportunity for, I think, both domestic students and international students. Clinical research, many job opportunities; regulatory affairs, many job opportunities out here. Yeah, and
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and one last question regarding the psychological assessment graduate certificate programs. Are they offered?
Those are also suspended. So those were suspended when the doctorate in the Doctor of Psychology was implemented. So those two programs as well are suspended.
Okay, so only a Doctor of Psychology program is offered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. Any questions to Amanda or Angela, please? It's almost left. We still have about 8 minutes. We only have about 8 minutes left.
I see one about master's programs for electrical and computer engineering. We don't have any of those. And then Angela, I think there's one for you. I've done my bachelor's and master's in business administration and have experience in cybersecurity for 7 years. Am I eligible for MISM?
We do our assurance program. I apologize. Our assurance program is more the business side of things. So if you wanted to do more of the business side, the information security program does require that you have a 3-year program or 3 or 4 year program in business, computing science, or engineering, so it shouldn't be any issues at all. In the event you need to take any qualifying courses that to help prepare you for the rest of the program, you can do so in this program.
Yeah, Girish is at work and he cannot talk, so he's been chatting.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. And so I just wanted to clarify that what Angela was speaking to was the difference between our MISM and
Miss Anne.
I wasn't sure if that was a question. I think it was just background. Yeah. Yeah. So Angela. Yeah. Yeah. So Angela was initially mentioning the difference between MISM and MISAM. So it might be worth exploring that as well. Like put the program planners for both programs up above.
Okay.
Actually, I was having one question. If Angela or Amanda, anyone can of you answer. Like we do have some of the students who do have a different education background. For example, a student might have electrical and communication bachelor's, and if he or she want to apply for MS in the information technology. So is there any mandatory requirement that person must have the similar education background in IT back in bachelor in order to get eligible to apply for MS in IT or something?
Maybe based on the work experience, 2-3 years of work experience if they have an IT. It's very common, especially from my part of the world where I was born. I was born in Hyderabad, South India. Many IT professionals, almost about 50 to 60% of the graduates are into IT jobs. But they probably have studied, a bachelor's in electronics and communications or business programs, and then they move into IT as a career. So for those professionals, if they have 2 or 3 years of work experience, could they be considered for masters in information technology or information security?
As long as they are presenting a program that has that 3.0, they can be considered regardless of their background, because this program, I believe, does require to also submit a resume. So again, we are looking at that as well as our other master's programs. We do require that resume. So we are looking at an overall what experience they have. For our masters in science and IT, they are specifically looking for people with that science engineering background. However, they can, if they've got work experience, they can definitely be looked at as well. I just think that that program gets very in the weeds of IT, and having some background will help be successful in that program.
That is very good. I'm sure there'll be many, many prospective students interested in that if work experience.
And one last question I would like to ask is, what is the average processing time in order to get the admission for a student, especially the international student and the domestic students as well? Because most of the time what happens is for us, domestic students do reach out to us and they expect us to get the admission as soon as possible, especially for the postgraduate diploma program. So is there any processing timeline difference in terms of, getting the admission for domestic, not the domestic one, but international students who already have the visa and are in Canada, and the timeline for the people who are applying for the first time right from India?
Just to add, Nihil is the manager of our CIP. He's based in Toronto, and he's also from Gujarat. He's from Gujarat, and many students who are in Canada do ask for 1-year programs. So from that perspective, we're talking about the in Canada students, onshore students.
And Nihil, it's nice to connect with you. And yeah, I certainly appreciate students trying sometimes to combine 2 1-year programs. So maybe I'll pass it over to Angela to speak a little bit about admissions processing times.
So typically we tell students that it's 4 to 6 weeks. Now this is to just give a general, if we've got all their documents, then fantastic, we can make a decision. I know some students struggle when they apply and we don't get any official documentation, because through Apply Alberta, you do list what you are hoping to present, but sometimes we cannot make an official decision until we receive those documents. So students should be trying to get their documents to us as soon as possible. And in the event, there has been an occasion where if a student hasn't heard back within 6 weeks, they should get in touch with us, because it may be just waiting for a document or waiting for someone to process a certain piece. And we do get backlogged at certain times of the year, and we just want to make sure that students aren't waiting excessively. So they should reach out and connect with us so that we can look into their file and make sure that there isn't something missing that we've requested that they may not have understood that we need in order to make those decisions.
Is it for undergrads, Angela? Is it 3 weeks if all the documents are received?
Usually it is a shorter timeline, but it really depends on the complexities of the file as well.
Yeah. So as long as everything's received as soon as possible, then 3 weeks. But what she's saying is that sometimes students miss a document and then they're waiting and they don't know why they're waiting. So we like to avoid that as much as possible. And then for graduate programs for the MISM and MISAM, and is it GDIS and GDIA too? I
believe so, and then Master of Science in IT as well.
Those are only assessed after the application deadline in April. So students apply and then they have to wait until the deadline comes and goes, and then decisions are made.
Well, let's talk in a few days then. Excellent. Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Yes. Okay. Any more questions, please? I see more people have joined. If you have any questions regarding the programs and the process in Concordia University Edmonton, please. We have 2 more minutes and then we will begin with the session. Okay. Team from Brazil, Italo is from a Brazilian team here from Belo office, Belo Horizonte. Italo, any questions, Italo? And our Ukraine team as well.
So I have have general maybe questions. First of all, I'm interested, do you have Ukrainian students who study for now or from CIS countries?
CIS countries. Yeah. Mhm.
We don't, so we have partner institutions that sometimes send students on exchange for one semester. So we sometimes have different pockets of students from elsewhere in the world, but we don't regularly have Ukrainian students on campus at the moment. We would absolutely be open to it. Yeah.
Many of us have Ukrainian backgrounds.
Yes, I
Yes.
should say that there is a Ukrainian community in Edmonton. But yeah,
Alberta has a
Yes.
huge Ukrainian community, and
yeah.
I'm married to a Ukrainian, so my kids are half Ukrainian.
Wow. Okay. Okay, thank you for your presentation. It was very informatively. Thank you so much. And we hope that Ukrainian students will have interest to your university. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for attending and for your time.
Yeah. So, well, guys, if you don't have any questions, so I think we can. Long day for Amanda and Angela. They started very early today with the presentations, 8:30. Or you start very early as well, much earlier with the time difference. Yeah. So thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Angela. And it's been a pleasure having you. And, my team will get in touch. We have few applications interested, and we'll get in touch with maybe some initial questions just to smooth the process. And Anil from my team and Akila might be getting in touch with you. Thank you very much.
That
Thank you
sounds
for
good.
having
Thank you
us.
so much. Yeah, thanks for having us and for organizing this.
Thank you. Sure. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.